Starting with the dough for these cinnamon rolls, we're going to take 1/4 of an ounce package of yeast. We're going to add it to 1/2 cup of warm water and stir gently. You're going to set this aside for about 5 minutes or so, or at least until you can see that the yeast is bubbling. Next, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed and add 3 tablespoons of water. This will replace the egg in a cinnamon roll. We're going to set this aside. In a large bowl, we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of sugar, whatever kind of sugar that you like. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/3 cup of melted dairy-free butter. I like to use Earth Balance. You can use whatever kind you'd like. 1/2 of a cup of warmed dairy-free milk. And then we're going to add our flaxseed mixture to this. We're just going to give this a quick stir. We're going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 1 cup of whole wheat pastry flour and give this a stir as well. We're going to add our yeast water and then slowly mix this in with the rest of our flour, reserving some because we're going to be kneading it for 5 to 10 minutes. So we're going to take 1 more cup of whole wheat pastry flour and 1 more cup of all-purpose flour. But we're going to slowly add this in as we're kneading it for the 5 to 10 minutes. Once the dough isn't so sticky, you're going to want to transfer it onto a well-floured surface and continue to knead it for the 5 to 10 minutes. In a well-oiled bowl, you're going to place the dough in there and cover it with a washcloth. It can be a wet washcloth, and we're going to let this sit for 1 to 1.5 hours or until the dough doubles in size. Next, we're going to make the filling of the cinnamon rolls. We're going to take 1/2 of a cup of brown sugar and 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and mix this together. After letting the dough rise, you're going to punch it down and you're going to put it back onto a well-floured surface and begin to roll it out into 18 inches by 14 inches into a rectangle. We're going to take about 3 tablespoons of melted dairy-free butter and put this on top of the dough. Then we're going to add our brown sugar and cinnamon mixture and just sprinkle it on top. This step is optional, but you can take 3/4 of a cup of chopped walnuts and put this onto your dough as well. If you don't like walnuts, you can add pecans or whatever other kind of nuts, or just leave them out altogether. Starting at the long side, tightly roll up the dough, pinching the seams to seal, and at the end of it, you may want to add a little bit of butter to the seams to help to seal it up. We're going to cut the roll into about 12 to 15 pieces with a serrated knife. Try to make sure that they're all the same size. In the pan, add a couple of tablespoons of butter along with some of the brown sugar and cinnamon mixture, just so it helps it to give it a bit more flavor, but also so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes or until it's nice and golden brown. While it's baking, we're going to make the glaze for the top of the cinnamon rolls with 2 cups of powdered sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 4 tablespoons of dairy-free melted butter, and then we're going to add 3 to 6 tablespoons of hot water. Check the consistency as you go. You may need to add more after 3 tablespoons, but it can be whatever consistency that you're wanting it to be. Allow the cinnamon rolls to cool for at least 5 minutes and then add the glaze to the top of them, and they are ready.